The Parpooth Boom Queer a welcome back, Zord Chandler. Thank you to EA for sponsoring this video. So, today we will be celebrating the Sims' 22nd birthday, and we gotta get a special Sim ready for the party. We will be making the iconic Bella Goth of the Sims. She needs to make a fabulous appearance on the green carpet, and it is my honor to help her out. Bella is by far the most recognizable Sim in the Sims world, and her disappearance remains a mystery till this day. Where has she gone? Who is the Bella Goth in Strangetown? Does Mortimer, John Lothario, Nina, and Dina Caliente have anything to do with her disappearance? Will I ever stop using the Motherlode cheat? The Sims world will never know. With my personal gameplay, I like to customize some of the iconic Sims, so I wanted to show how I modified my Bella Goth in Sims 4. I wanted to get some inspiration on how I would dress her, and these are some of the dresses that I really liked on her. As you can see, my vintage hair obsession continues to The Sims as well, and Bella Goth can seriously rock them. These are some additional ideas I have for Bella Goth, and of course, I want her to have an old Hollywood vintage style. Whenever I think of Bella, I think of sophistication and class, so I wanted her green carpet look to reflect that. She will be wearing a beautiful and elegant red dress that wraps her body beautifully, a high slit in the front to show the legs, and a very low back a la Vicky Dugan. This look is definitely a party in the front and an even bigger party in the back. And to top it all off, a white fur stole envelopes her arms as she glides along the green carpet. With that being said, let's go ahead and get started. Let's go ahead and start creating the iconic Bella Goth, and this is the doll that I will be using. Because she is in a static pose, she has her arms on her waist, I do want to go ahead and cut this off, and I will be replacing it, so I want to give her some rotation in the arms. She will be wearing gloves too, so the joints will be hidden it's going to be very sleek. So let's go ahead and cut off her arms. I know this is quite graphic. I feel like this is what happened to Bella Goth when she was being abducted. Oh my god. It got dark really quickly, I know, but the alien jokes and stuff, so yeah. And because, of course, it is going to be a static pose, I want to go ahead and super glue her hips, her thighs also, so that we can mold the gown beautifully. And when that dries, I'm going to go ahead and take my epoxy sculpt over here, and we are going to be mixing 2 equal parts together. This project required a lot of epoxy sculpt, not gonna lie. Let's go ahead and start modifying her body. So in hindsight, I didn't have to modify her body first. I should have just went straight in with the gown look, but I don't know what I was thinking, so for this part I'm just making the body first, and then, we're going through the motions of it all. I did get carried away a little bit with her butt. It was giving very Kim Kardashian, And of course, like I said, this could have also been skipped. I didn't really need to sand this part because I was gonna cover everything anyway. Yeah, sometimes I was working hard and not smart. And here I have the doll sanded. As you can see, it's very smooth, very satisfying to look at. And yeah, I'm gonna end up covering it anyway, again with a slab of clay. So here I am working on the torso first. I think maybe that's why I wasn't really thinking, because I was like, I want to have the body first, and then I want to go ahead and then mold the gown and everything. So I don't know, for some reason it just worked with the process. But like I said, it wasn't very a smart move, if anything. I really want this gown to look like it's molded on her. I mean, literally it is, but I want the fabrics to look really molded, and I want it to wrap around her body beautifully, and I just wanted to frame her body, Making all of these wrinkles is definitely so satisfying. I don't know, I just love adding the wrinkle details and and all of the folds of the fabric. Over here, I will be working my way down to the skirt part, and I'm just using some tape to kind of make a frame for her skirt. So the clay, it's gonna be holding onto the clay, you know? And I'll be working my way down, so just, you know, this is the process. This is my process. Again, let's go ahead and put on a slab of epoxy clay here. And I try to make it as thin as possible, the clay, because I don't want it to be too thick. We already made her body really like exaggerated and stuff, so I'm trying to make sure that the actual cloth is gonna be thinner. And over here, you know, this is a reference to the Mugler of Kim Kardashian. I just had to do it. I was like, we're having all of these wrinkles, we're having all of these things. Like, I need her butt area to be like a party also. I want that lower back, and also, like, you know, it's just really nice. And this is kind of like when I thought of giving her a high slit. So over here I'm just kind of shaping that high slit, and I'm really glad that I used a tape over here so that it actually protected the doll's skin. Again, we're adding more tape for the skirt part, and this is, I'm pretty much ending the clay part onto her knees. And I said ending the clay part because we will be transitioning it to a different material later, so I'll show you guys that. But over here I'm just adding more wrinkles, more folds. I definitely want the folds to kind of have a transition also from her torso to the back, and then I would like to transition the fabric falling down, cascading onto the actual floor. So I don't know, just trying to solve that problem. The folds of the fabric, quote unquote fabric, was really cool, kind of satisfying, but yeah, it was just really fun. And here we have the dress. As you can see, it looks really cool like this too, kind of like a over the knee length. But of course, this is a green carpet appearance. It is the Sims 22nd birthday, so it needs to be a gown. You know, it needs to be a really long gown. So we gotta go ahead and make that happen. Over here, I'm just taking a paper, and this will be the gown, you know, apart. And this is just like the size I wanted her gown to be. As you can see, it's pretty exaggerated. But I will be taking my new black Worbla. Yes, this is Worbla. It is in the black color. I got it from Blix, actually. So they were selling this slab, and I was like, oh my god, how cool. It doesn't look like a Dorito chip anymore, you know, like a nacho chip. So it's the same exact thing. It is a thermoplastic material. So when you heat it up, it will be malleable and moldable and everything. So let's go ahead and cut the appropriate shape. So it's just a half circle, and over here I'm just tracing a little bit more just because I want it to be more extra, you know. And let's go ahead and cut it up. With my heat gun, I am activating the Worbla over here, and it was kind of awkward because my heat gun is really tiny, so I had to like go at it, and this is like a lot of like landscape to cover with the heat gun, so yeah. And now it's time to kind of mold it, and this is when I was trying to make the folds appropriately. This was a lot of troubleshooting, but it was also really fun to make those folds and like just sculpt it, you know, sculpt Worbla into fabric, and trying to get the wrinkles to match the sculpted epoxy sculpt was really fun. So over here, as you can see, I'm working kind of like part by part. I will heat it up, mold it, heat it up again, and then, you know, fold it. So I'm using my metallic chopstick over here to really make more folds. So it was really fun. And literally, this is the moment where I'm like, oh my god, not me going above and beyond, just so that I don't sew. Literally, that's how against sewing I am. But as you can see, it looks really cool, and this is the Worbla all dried up and cured, and it's literally like a static sculpture, and it's really nice. I love the effects of the folds. To me, at least, it definitely looks like fabric, so I'm so excited to show you guys how I blend it onto her. Let's go ahead and work on her arms for now. Let's take a break from the gown. So over here, as you can see, like I said, this is the original hands, the arms that the doll had, but I really didn't like the pose. So I'm over here, I cut up another doll's hands. As you can see, it's more delicate. The pose is just more ethereal looking, very fairy tale, very model-esque. So I definitely really just prefer the fingers on this, like the hand poses, everything. So let's go ahead and take our drill and let's go and make some holes in the arms so we can adhere it and, you know, screw it on. Over here I am taking my Everbuilt hanger bolts, and this is the specs for it. It is an 832 and it is a 1 inch. As you can see, one part of it is pointy and then the other part is blunt. So you can choose wherever you want it to be. I definitely prefer the pointy ends to go to the arms and then the blunt ends to go to the shoulder, like the actual doll's arms. I'm gonna go ahead and make some hole. I'm gonna drill the actual doll's arms. Or I guess this is what, the bicep? Oh my god. Yeah, the doll's bicep. I am drilling it to make some hole in it. I have been such a fan of The Sims since the first game, but Sims 2 was my childhood. I remember skipping schools just so I can play, and hearing the intro, the EA games, challenge to everything, brings me so much bliss. So let's go ahead and put those together. As you can see, it's just really nice. Obviously there is a difference in the skin tone, but it doesn't really matter because, like I said, she is gonna be wearing an opera length gloves. But look at that, it's just, the pose is just so much better. And I like how this pose will actually work with her first stole that I will be giving her. So I just prefer it so much more. You know, you can rotate it, you know, obviously it's not like a mind-blowing pose that she can do, but the fact that the arms rotate I think is great. It looks really good and it's so beautiful, so let's go ahead and sculpt the actual glove part. So over here we have the gloves, we have the arms, and I'm just taking the Worbla. I want it to be a little bit higher than the joint just so it really hides it. Then let's go ahead and take the clay and we're just gonna go ahead and blend it. I want to create that wrinkles, the folds of the fabric, just to make it look like it's a realistic glove, you know? But you guys know, I do this all the time. I love an opera length gloves. I don't know why. It's just really like, for me it's so edgy, especially if it's black, especially if it's opera length. And I just feel like it's so classy and it's just so like, I don't know, it's just so nice. I don't know, I like it. Let's wait for this to dry and let's go back to her dress. Again with the Worbla, I am just cutting up this kind of shape over here, this slope shape, and this will go on top of her torso, kind of to frame her dress by the décolletage area, by the cleavage area. I thought that would make it look really classic and old Hollywood. Now it's time to blend in the train with the actual doll, and as you can see over here, I'm just blending it kind of by her knee area. So I'm just kind of figuring it out, making sure it fits perfectly, and to adhere it very securely, I will be using my 2-part epoxy glue. This one is a resin, so just you have to mix part A and part B again, and it takes 5 minutes to cure, which is amazing. So there's other parts of this, also there's other times, so if you guys want it to be a slow cure, make sure you get the slow cure. I'm very impatient, so I need the 5 minutes one. So over here I'm just mixing the part A and part B evenly, and then I will be gluing it towards the back. So I pretty much glued the Worbla onto her calves. I actually waited for this to cure overnight, and I actually had it upside down, so this happened. It was kind of a bad news. As you can see, it bled all the way down, you know, to travel, so it was definitely a nightmare. So over here, I'm just doing my best to scrape it off. I'm using a pliers over here and also some dental tools to really scrape off the epoxy glue, which took some time, but I was able to get it out. And as you can see, it is adhered perfectly. So now it's time to blend it in. And again, I am using my epoxy clay, and I'm just blending in the folds, and I'm making sure that I'm sculpting in those appropriate folds so that it blends in with the clay part and it transitions really well with the Worbla part. And I thought this was really cool. This was so fun to actually sculpt, and I was just really enjoying the process. As you can see, it's starting to really take shape. I actually really like how it's black, like the Worbla, and then the clay is white, so you can really see where it transitions. And this is what I have. Of course, we will be sanding everything to make everything so smooth, but I think it transitions really, really well. And I'm really excited to paint this. So let's go ahead and sand everything. I want everything to look so smooth. I definitely want this to look like a satin finish or like silk and stuff, so yeah. Let's take a break from her dress. Now that we have it blended, I can kind of sit back. So let's go ahead and work on her hair. And it's been a while since I showed the process of the wig making. So over here I am using yarn. Yes, these are literal yarn. Make sure they are acrylic yarn, by the way. And this one is in black. So I'm just making a bunch of wefts over here. And this is just some of the footage. You know, this is not all of it. And as you can see, I have all of them kind of wrapped up over here in this wire hanger. And let's go ahead and detangle them. And first I go in with my plastic pet brush. And this is kind of like the detangling tool that I use. And I feel like it retains the length. I'm not sure if it really does, but I feel like it, you know, for me, I feel like it does. And then I go over with my metallic pet brush, and then this will then really fine-tune everything and soften the fibers. And then I go in with our hair straightener, and you just really want to go ham and just, you know, straighten everything. And so this is the process of the wig making, you know, this is the hair weft making. It takes a while, it gets really messy, and so I'm just using some hot glue, and this is literally how you make the wefts. And voila! That is pretty much it. So after like, I don't know, 20 more of those, you should have a bunch of hair wefts that you can use for the doll wigs. And of course you can blend in different colors if you'd like. So yeah, the process is just really mundane though. Over here I have her wig cap ready, and let's go and start gluing the hair, starting from the bottom in the back and are working our way back up. And of course this is a page boy, vintage hair wave, very Jessica Rabbit almost. But it's really nice. You guys know, this is a go-to of mine. I just like it. I love a vintage wave for my Sims, I love a vintage wave for my dolls, and I love it for me in drag. So I just love a vintage wave, so, you know. Are we surprised though? No. But, you know, I just really love it. The reason why I also love working with yarn is because you can really style it using water. So over here I'm just spraying it with water and I'm curling it. So let's go ahead and do that. I am using my heated metal chopstick over here to make those curls. And you just want to do under curls for a page boy, for a vintage wave. So just make sure everything is under curled. And we should have something like this, and then let's go ahead and start brushing it out. So obviously, this isn't the same as, you know, nylon hair, like doll hair, or even like, you know, drag wigs, but you do want to be able to make, I think you should still be able to make the bump, you know, that I really enjoy in vintage hairs, like that, I don't know, that bumper part of a page boy. Like this part over here in the back. Ah, my god, I love it so much. I don't know why. I don't know, I really don't know why, but I love it. It's just so like... I love it. I don't know why. What is this? What is the explanation? I am using Got to Be hairspray to lock in some of the parts that I wanted to be locked in. So over here, I'm mixing water and Got to Be hairspray, by the way. But look at the shape, you guys. Look at the freaking shape. Oh my god. Oh my god. I'm dying. I'm dying. I can't wait for Bella to wear this. Now that we're done with the wig, let's go ahead and move on to her face. And of course, I have sprayed the face with Mr. Super Clear, MSC, so we can actually draw on the vinyl head. It will pretty much transform the rubber into a paper-like texture, so we can use our watercolor pencils on it. And of course, I want to model this face with the game, with, you know, how I customize my Bella Goth in The Sims 4. So I was trying to really reference you know, my in-game Bella Goth, because why not? Did I make it perfectly like how she does? Probably not, but like I said, the makeup, the eyebrows, it was all inspired by that modification, the custom sim that I made of Bella Goth. I definitely want her makeup, oh my god, here I go again, to be natural. Ooh. Well, the custom makeup that I put on my sim for the Bella Goth, it was like neutral shadows. I was literally using base game, I think, like base game like eyeshadow. So yeah, that is pretty natural. It was just like a smoky eye though, you know? So yeah, I'm trying to do the same thing for this one. I just feel like it just matches perfectly anyway. I don't see Bella Goth like actually using color for her eyeshadow. Like if anything, it's all neutrals, like browns and dark browns or blacks even. So I really don't even see her wearing, like, maybe if she does an eyeshadow, maybe it'll be like purple or red, but that's like going above and beyond, you know? It's been a while since I drew on an eyebrow with a high arch like this, so this was actually kind of refreshing. I've been doing like the really like straight going up brows, so having an arch was kind of cool to, you know, to see again. For some reason, the sim Bella that I made had really strong contours, so over here I am just going in, I'm going ham with the pastels also, trying to give this doll a really strong contour as well. I'm contouring her nose just a little bit, and I'm also highlighting it. And to give your dolls a little bit more realism, I like to go on their nostrils and actually add a shadow underneath. And of course, we gotta make her blush, you know? So over here, I'm just mixing some pinks and also some rose and reds to give her the perfect blush. I'm taking my really small brush and I am smoking out her eyeshadow a little bit more with a black pastel color. If you guys didn't know, every Sims game has their own story timeline, and in terms of the main game, Sims 3 is first, then Sims 1, and then Sims 2. Sims 4 is a whole different timeline, almost like an alternate world, since Bella Goth is still technically missing, and that's why she's in The Sims 4. I want her lower lashes to be really full, but I don't want it to be too dark and dramatic, so over here I'm just adding a little bit of hints of hair strokes underneath, and I am diffusing it later with some shadow. Let's go ahead and take our white acrylic paint and work on the whites of her eyes, the whites of her teeth, and we will be giving her catch lights as well towards the end. I really want her lipstick to have the lipstick look, so for that I will be taking my red acrylic paint and I'm just coating her lips with some beautiful, like, I believe this was called cardinal red. Like, it just sounds so fancy, you know? And of course, Bella Goth needs to shine so that the aliens can see her. So I am mixing 2 colors of resin metallic pigments over here in pink and also gold. And I'm just layering those up. And I'm putting it pretty much all over her face, but mostly on her cheekbones and also her nose. Oh my god, look at that. Look at that. Look at that shine. For her lipstick, I love like when my lipstick, even in drag, has a shadow. So over here I'm just taking my black pastel and I'm creating those artificial shadows for her lips. I feel like it just gives her a pout also, and it gives the lips more dimension so that the lips doesn't look flat. Especially for drag, when I am overlining my lips, it can tend to look flat and just really fake. So adding the shadows there really makes it look like it has a dimension. Going back to her gown, I am just coating the entire thing with Mod Podge over here. I'm just trying to blend in the texture of the clay with the Worbla. Obviously, they're 2 different textures. And so now we are ready to paint her dress red. Of course, Bella Goth is only known for red. Like, that is her signature color. And I think that's why I love her, because you guys know, my favorite color is red. And black, so that's literally Bella Goth's color scheme. So yeah, I definitely worked a lot of layers on this dress just because sometimes you really need a lot of that to cover all of the pigments and to make sure all of your paint is highly pigmented. So yeah, just work your way there. Work with thin layers if you're having trouble with the paint. Do you guys have a favorite Sims spin-off? My ultimate favorite is The Sims Herbs. I played it for the DS and also the PS2, and I just loved all of the different districts. They all have different styles, fashion, music, and unique characters, and I would literally die if they ever remaster the game. My top districts were Diamond Heights, the Foundry, and also Southside Bridge. I just love the fashions, I love the music, and I love the vibe of these 3 districts. Also, did I mention that the Black Eyed Peas have their own district and recorded their songs in Simlish? Oh yeah, the official Herbs soundtrack. Oh my god, such great songs. The Herbs was just really iconic, and we all know that, so I really need them to remaster it, remake it. Imagine like a Sims 4, but like Herbs style. Oh my god, I would die! For her back and also her legs, I did my best to color match her over here, and this paint actually oxidizes darker when it's dry, so don't worry about it too much, but it did blend really well when it all dried up. And of course I will be blushing it, so that really sells the illusion of the blended leg and skin tone and stuff, so yeah. I then sprayed the entire body, her entire dress with Mr. Super Clear, and I am just going at it with some chalk pastels in black and also darker red. I want this dress to have dimension as well. Obviously, it literally has the shadows, but I feel like adding artificial shadows with pastels really like emphasizes that and just makes it have more dimension, especially for this part, like the folded and sculpted ruches on her torso. I just feel like it looks better, you know? Of course, I got carried away towards the back by her butt area because I was like, I need this to really look sculpted. I want this to have the appropriate shadows that it needs to have. So I was just really having so much fun, like shading in, you know, those shadows and stuff. So yeah, you don't have to do this if you don't want to, or if you do, you can even do this in a different color. You don't have to do it in black. Like I tried it with a dark purple and I thought that looked really cool, but you know, Bella Goth doesn't wear purple, so I didn't want her dress to have like the illusion that it shifts from purple to red and stuff. So I was like, let's play it safe and let's just work with black shadows. When we're done with the dress, we can then go ahead and blush up her knees. Over here, I was blushing her knees, I was blushing her foot, I was kind of blushing her thighs just a little bit, but this really adds realism a little bit to the leg. It's like body makeup, you know? let's go ahead and put on her arms so we can also paint them and match them. Oh my god, we are on a flow, you know? At first, I wanted to give her red gloves. I was like, that's very Marilyn Monroe, the whole matchy-matchy. But then I asked like my friends' opinions, and they were like, no, we gotta go with black gloves. And I was like, you're right, the black gloves is everything. And I feel like it just matches Bella Goth a lot more. So, you know, it was just better. I mean, you know, you guys know I love black, so, you know, it was just appropriate for me also. Over here, I'm just adding more body glitter all over her body, her legs, you know, everything that shows, I'm adding more glitter there because why not? Let's go ahead and gloss up her dress. Again, the purpose for this is to look like it's satin. I want it to look like, you know, satin or silk or whatever, so I'm just taking this Liquitex satin glaze. I got it from Blix as well, so I love this because it's not too glossy, but it's literally like in the middle. I was like, you know, I'm obsessed. And glossing everything is just so satisfying. Like, it really makes the dress come alive, you know? Let's wait for that to dry and let's go ahead and work on her shoes. Of course, Bella Goth deserves a good pump. In my game, I downloaded a bunch of like stiletto pumps with red bottoms, you know, some Louboutins, and she deserves the same exact thing. So because I was gonna go with red gloves, I painted this red, but then I'm like, nope, we're gonna go with the black gloves. So over here, I'm just repainting it black again. And you know, I'm just bringing her the red bottoms again. She deserves it. Literally, my Bella Goth in The Sims is wearing like a bunch of red bottoms. Even her pajama set, she's wearing like Louboutins. Her lingerie. I'm like, come on, pop off, Miss Bella Goth. And of course, because she's a Sims character, I actually forgot to do this for my Juno Birch doll, but I wanted to make her a plumb bob. And I have this mold over here of an actual plumb bob. I got it from Amazon, I believe. And I am just taking these resin in yellow and green, because plumb bobs are kind of like a mix of yellow-green. They're not too green, they're not too yellow, they're literally in between. So I'm just gonna go ahead and mix kind of like equal parts together, you know? So let's go ahead and start pouring. And of course, you want to make sure there's no air bubbles, or at least not as much. And I'm just adding a wire in there, you know, so that we can actually adhere it to her head. And I'm just taking my UV light over here to cure the resin. And voila! That literally took like, I don't know, maybe a minute, maybe 2 minutes to cure. Or actually to make, and this is what I have. This is actually my third attempt at the plumb bob, and it looked the best. I'm like, okay, we're keeping this one. And it just looks so freaking cool. I'm like, oh my god. If I make more Sims character, I need to give them plumb bobs. I feel like it's a need. And I want to make plumb bobs in different colors, because obviously, you guys know that the plumb bobs are like a reflection of the Sims mood and stuff. So, yeah. Let's go ahead and start assembling Miss Bella Goth and, you know, do the final touches. I don't know about you guys, but I enjoy doing the deep dives of the Sims lore, and of course, the disappearance of Bella Goth is the most intriguing. I recommend watching Plumbella's, Whiny Brits, and also the Sims lore over here on YouTube. They do the most interesting deep dives of Bella Goth's disappearance, and honestly, I'm just looking forward for her story to really unfold in the future games. I want to know what happened, you know? For her jewelry, over here I just have this green, like, human earring, but it will work on a doll scale. Bella Goth often wears green jewelry, like emeralds, if anything, so I thought this will be perfect. So I'm just giving it to her as her earrings and also as a ring. After I put on the wig, I was like, oh my god, something's missing. And it's actually her lashes. That was almost an oversight. I forgot to give her lashes. So over here, I'm just taking the time to give her lashes. And if you guys didn't know, you can actually download lashes for your Sims. And they move and everything. So
if you're into the whole lash game, make sure your Sims has it. And I often don't show it as well, but this is how I trim the lashes to shape them. You know, obviously I don't want it to be too big, and I often like the feline, like cat eye type of lash effect. I like to start really short in the front, and then I want it to be really long towards the end of her eyes. And this is her first stole. I didn't really film anything about this, but I did shape it. I got the fabric from a local fabric store, and it is fake fur obviously, but it just looks so realistic on a doll scale. It looks like fox fur or something on a doll scale, so I thought that was perfect. So, you know, let's go ahead and style her and finish her up. And now we're done with Bella Goth.